Tisk,
All
tisk,
right.
OBS.
Yeah, all right. So, again, thank you. All right, Joey. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, for bearing with us. Last time, I promise, real quick, just give me like 5 minutes to grab some water and then recollect myself. And we're gonna try this pitch.
Oh my god!
We're not going out.
No,
Don't leave.
Don't chance it. We
I
just
know.
got.
I know. All right, just we're gonna be right back. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, collect yourself.
You got this, Brandon.
So, folks, how are we all doing on this fine day?
So
Doing
maybe we should introduce our characters a bit, since we now have
some
audio
time.
and some time.
Yeah.
Do characters and player introductions? I think we can. Well, you volunteered, so go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So I am Will. I'm playing Bob, which is was originally
Justin, fucking grip it and rip it, baby. Slop that down, dude. Shit, yeah, dude. Crack one for the big boy.
Sell me a bunch of times to various space stations, other space pirates, traders, and it just never seemed to quite take. And so my function is to kind of be a research probe for a civilization that may or may not exist any longer. Nobody's really sure. But I just like hanging out and figuring out how this whole piracy thing works, because it's not a concept I was familiar with. So,
Hey, we're not pirates. We're salvage experts.
okay, sure. Salvage experts with guns.
Sometimes salvaging is a dangerous business.
Mm-hmm.
Asteroids and stuff.
Yeah. I played that game. It was in the computer, in like an old stored file. It was like a little thing where it went across and you could shoot at the asteroids.
See, that's all we're doing. Yeah.
Just that. Just casual.
All right.
You're back.
Who's up?
Did you want to change your background again?
That is what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Will has started us off in our character introductions.
Yes.
So, I guess I can go next then. Julia, I'm playing Imogene Knightley. I'm the Tempest plate. And I am essentially one with the void. Not really. I was born on a ship attempting to participate in the rally years ago, and it did not go well. And now I'm looking to see if I have better luck than my parents did.
Cool. I guess I'll go next since we're kind of going clockwise.
In a circle.
Yeah. So I am Anya. I'm going to be playing Saber, she, they. They are a mystic sage with, I forget the term, starts with an H, one black eye and one purple eye.
And I believe.
Yes, that's it. And they are a little odd. They have a lot of fun with things. They're here for a good time. Yeah.
And I guess that just leaves me. I am Hetty. I am the closest that this ship has to a captain, in so much as I am the person responsible for recruiting all of these characters for totally professional crew to attempt the rally, because I have a lot of debts and I need that prize money. So There was I was going to recruit the best of the brightest, and that didn't pan out, so this is what I got, and we're gonna make it work.
All right, and I guess that finally just leaves me. Hello, I am Brendan. I am the Space Master. I am master of all space. Now that that's out of the way,
Except for cyberspace, Brendan, that seems to have thrown you for a bit of a loop, but we
you
got
know
there.
what? You know what? You know it's true. You know, I got nothing to say to that. Except, perhaps, that lost soul is where we came from. Long ago, on the wine-dark planet Earth, humanity rose to the apex of its civilization. We even began to fancy ourselves the dominant species of this tiny world. We were wrong. Now, you'd have to be crazy to go back to Earth. We abandoned it centuries ago, when the stars came right and the eldritch intelligences it harbored awoke to reclaim it. Yet you will find no shortage of crazy among the void-flung descendants of mankind. Most of us scattered across the cosmos in vast orbital edifices and biomechanical convoys. There's few traditions that still bind us together across the black. But the Rilia Rally is one of them. Crews from all over, daredevils, cultists, and fools, have gathered around Leyline Eddy by the gates to Lost Soul, tuning their engines and plotting their route for a space race across the cemetery stars our ancestors once looked up at. Hovering over all of this floats Roulette, a space colony painted in the red and black pattern of the old world divining tool from which it takes its name. Ships cluster around its docks, competitor and spectator both, ready to revel in its non-stop bacchanal. Zooming in on this cluster of ships, we see all manner of designs, from the sleek to the squamous, and at least one oddly shaped vessel, a riotous and yet oddly smooth cube. Its name emblazoned across each of its 6 planes. The roll of the dice. And as we zoom in further, we can hear raised voices. There's
yeah, just to fucking grip it and rip it, baby. Slop that down, dude. Shit, yeah, dude. Crack one for the big boy.
Away. The crew, such as it is, of the roll of the dice are doing their pre-flight check. And you have discovered that a rather crucial component of your engine, the ventricle regulator, is gone. Straight up gone. And judging by the hole that has been left in its place, you're pretty certain that somebody just jacked your shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not supposed to look like that, right?
I don't know what to tell you. I have not detected anybody else aboard the ship. No one's come, no one's gone. It's just us here.
Okay, well, clearly someone was here, because parts of ships don't just go walking off by themselves.
Matter and antimatter blink into existence and destroy themselves all the time in space.
Yeah,
not
just
here.
fucking
That
grip
sort of
it,
stuff doesn't
rip it,
happen
baby.
in these parts of space,
Slop
okay?
that down, dude. Shit, yeah, dude. Crack one for the big boy.
This is a bit larger. Usually it's single atoms.
And how big is the engine exactly?
So the entire engine is for the roll of the dice roughly the size of a house. The
Okay.
Yeah,
the
just
ventricle
fucking
regulator
grip it,
itself is
rip it,
rather
baby.
smaller.
Slop
It
that
is
down,
a
dude.
small
Yeah, dude,
component.
crack one for the big
That is,
boy.
large, but not so large that it could not be carried off by a dedicated individual.
Okay. Saber is going to be scanning the crowd around and is going to see if anyone is looking suspiciously. And I'm curious if this will feed into their background of the Sage Ancient Order, trying to pierce lies, confusion, or a mystery.
Okay. Well, so at least as far as this goes, I'm actually not even going to make your roll for it.
Oh, okay.
Because, like I said, so while the piece can be carried, it is still pretty large. Oh, I see. We have another crew member joining us briefly, coming through the void. You see
Child.
the star child emerges. The prophecy is true.
And we gotta follow. We've got donations and follows and void children.
Excellent.
And you see out on the edge of the crowd around the docks, someone ducking into an alleyway, carrying, sort of teetering slightly under the weight, what is very obviously your ventricle regulator. It still appears to be leaving a trail of ichor on the concrete from where they have dragged it out of your ship. You also notice, just before they duck into the alleyway, the distinctive livery of Lord Leviathan's pit crew.
I should know.
Ooh. Sabotage.
Hetty, I believe we found a clue.
Yeah, and I've obviously made everyone aware of this.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
we are going to his ship and we are getting our parts back and giving him a piece of our minds. So
should we go all the way to the ship when the guy's right there? We could just jump him.
Yeah, I think that's the better idea. And Saber's going to follow the dude who stole their stuff. I mean,
right, so question. So, is Saber going to be diving off alone first to do this, or going to wait for the rest of the crew to follow you?
I feel like at least one other person should be following, but they want to make sure that they don't lose the trail. Although if it's like trailing ichor, I guess it's easy to follow.
Yeah, Imogene will kind of hover on the edge of the jump off point, looking at Hetty and be like, I mean, if you want to go talk to him, we can go talk to him, but I really think it's probably more cathartic for you if we just went and beat the shit out of him.
Fine, let's go. Well, yes, obviously, let's go.
All right, you guys set off chasing after Lord Leviathan's erstwhile thief.
His lackey.
His minion. The ducks are a riot of activity, and I mean that in pretty much the most literal sense possible. You have to shove just to get through under normal circumstances. As is, you are more or less starting a snowballing bar fight as you are parkouring your way after this guy. You descend through this narrow, claustrophobic set of service stairs that links the two sections of the outer ring together, following the slime trail left by your ship's component. And you emerge into the lower level in this burst of light in this habitation section where the central avenue runs to either side of you, sloping upward in the distance to either side. And there is a parade going on, celebrating the imminent beginning of the rally.
Do we still have sight on the guy?
So you don't
Because
have
if we're
sight.
pushing through, he's got to be pushing through as well.
So you don't immediately have eyes on the individual himself, but you have a reasonably good idea of where he's probably going, based on the fact that at this point in the parade, it has transformed into something of a procession of Lord Leviathan to his ship. Lord Leviathan sits at the head of a massive vehicle, an 18-wheeled trailer that tows his massive brain behind him. The various members of his pit crew hang off of the sides of the trailer from railings, bedecked in his house livery, throwing gold leaf confetti to the crowds on either side.
Like real gold, or
I mean, you can't get it. You don't have a good look at it, but it looks pretty shiny. Well, most people in the throng seem pretty thrilled to get covered in that shit.
Are they like going after it and we're able to kind of skirt around them?
So it depends. It's a pretty chaotic situation. I would say roll scope it out.
Okay.
So you're gonna roll calculating.
Okay, so I rolled just 1 or 2. Sorry, I haven't played
no problem.
in a while.
2d6 and add calculating.
Yep. That is a 7 because I have a 0 modifier.
All right, so you get to ask one of the questions from the scope it out list in the basic move section.
Okay, hang on. Scope it out. There you are. Oh, there we go. So it's where is my best escape route, way in, way past? So where is my best way past?
Okay. You can see looks like there is an awning over top of a tavern that based on looks like some stuff has been extra crates of booze have been brought in for the revelers, and you could probably climb up on those onto the awning, and that would get you at least on top of the trailer.
Okay, well, I'll point that out to everyone. Shall we?
Well, quick question, because I was having car trouble yesterday. Is Bob able to leave the ship? How big is Bob?
Yeah, Bob is able to leave the ship. I assume Bob's been following along, but
yeah,
yeah. What?
Okay. Just making sure.
Bob can move in sort of a weird way, which is why Hetty never seems to be able to actually like make selling him stick. So you know, on occasion, matter is kind of optional.
Okay. Bob's like, I'll just take my ass home. You can't stop me.
So pretty much. Solidity is such an inconvenience.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's just so much space between all those atoms, and none of you seem to use it.
It seems like such a waste. All right. So I guess then up we go over onto the trailer.
Yeah.
Although halfway up, Imogen again will stop and turn to Hetty and be like, I mean, if he's here, do you want to go back to your original plan and yell at him in front of all of these people?
That's very tempting.
Probably yell at him really well from up here.
Yeah, I am gonna give him a piece of my mind. And Hetty is gonna scramble up onto the trailer and just shout, "Hey!"
Just gonna stir
The
Just gonna
members
just
of the
gonna-
pit crew, once you scramble up, hanging on the sides of the trailer, all look up at you, and you can see them starting to reach for the ladders to climb up and tussle, but they stop partway up, touching the radios in their ears, and then just sort of look up at you and wave you towards the front of the trailer.
Looks like someone was trying to get our attention, apparently.
Yeah. So Hetty's gonna start striding towards the front of the trailer, while still like talking in a loud enough voice for people to hear. Didn't think you could win honestly this year? Stooping to petty tricks, like sabotaging other ships?
At the top of the trailer, at the head, there is a platform that you can climb down onto, and standing across from you, or rather hanging across from you, is Lord Leviathan in his astronaut's getup, hanging loosely on his withered frame. Cables connect to his joints that reach up into a grate overhead, where you can see members of his pit crew literally marionetting him from side to side in various poses to wave to the crowd. In addition to the various cables that stick into the back of his skull that connect him to the supercomputer that he drags around behind him at all times. And he regards you. Really, Henrietta, is there any cause for this kind of character assassination? So close to when we can prove our mettle in a test of engines and arms. I would have thought that this sort of scene was beneath you. I'm disappointed.
Not as disappointed as I am watching one of your pit crew make off with parts of my ship.
I'm sorry, Henrietta, but the fact of the matter is, you bought that regulator with money that I lent you. And I hate to have to bring this up in front of your crew, but you are rather behind on your payments. Now, I let this go for as long as I could out of the deep and abiding friendship that I know that you and I have. But especially going into a race like this, I'm afraid I had to cut costs, and that meant repossessing your part.
Look, I know I am behind on paying off my tab. However, obviously, I need the part so that I can participate in the rally, so that I can get the money to pay you back. This seems very short-sighted to me. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, now that you mention it, that does bring up a rather interesting proposition. Were I to loan you the regulator, I would think that perhaps if you were to pay me back out of your winnings, I think that, say, 80% would be...
Highway robbery.
Unfortunately, we do have to consider the interest on the loan, as well as the processing fees, as well as what I'm going to have to pay my PR people to deal with this little stunt of yours. That said, if you think that my rates are too extortionate, you're welcome to try and find another regulator in the next, 75 minutes.
Eddie, there are about 44, and if you count the spare parts, 3/4 regulators within 1 light second of our current position.
Any of them likely to sell on credit?
We could steal one. Turnabout being fair play, after all.
While this debate is going on, can Imogene just sidle on over to where our regulator is?
You don't actually see the regulator, unfortunately.
Okay, so they've absconded with it.
Yeah, you would guess that it either went off in another direction, or if the guy clambered onto the float, it has been secured away inside the trailer somewhere.
80%. Ugh.
Or you can try and grab yourself another regulator. That's also an option.
Yeah. I am going to Sarah. Well, we'll get back to you on those terms. 75 minutes, right?
77. Well, 73 at this point.
All right, guys, we have like 30 minutes to figure this out, or else we're gonna have to take the deal and not really be scraping by with much left over if we win. So let's find one of those regulators.
So, Brendan, you said that he was being held up by like strings, essentially.
Essentially, yeah, like cables, basically.
How sturdy are the cables?
They're pretty thick, but what did you have in mind?
Well, I mean, I have a mystic weapon.
All right. I mean, so
gonna make the terms 100% of the winnings at this rate.
I was gonna say.
I was thinking more like make it 50 or I'll cut you down and make you look like an idiot.
That'll be really expensive on the PR team.
If you want to do that, you can do it. That seems like a personal choice.
Let's say,
how hard would it be to like cut through these
with your mystic weapon? Not very at all. Like they're thick cables, but you've got a magic sword. It's fine.
It's just the all of the everything else.
Yeah. How difficult would it be to find a different one?
I was gonna sidle up onto Bob and be like, let's just go with Bob's plan. I'm down for some theft.
I mean, I made that number up, but I'm sure that we can piss off somebody else to...
Well, I don't see what's wrong with us just, finding a way to steal this one back. You can cut through those cables. Can you cut through the underside of the float?
Easily. Yeah, we're salvaging. We're not stealing.
Exactly.
So we need one distraction, one cutter,
Well, I'm already talking to Leviathan, so I think I am the distraction.
You're the distraction. So yeah, I'll mosey over to you guys, and can I help distract? I like distracting.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because then Saber and I can carry it back to the ship after she gets it cut free.
Yep.
So the float, so like the parade is due to him specifically or due to the event as a whole?
It is the event as a whole, though he is a prime attraction of the parade. As at this point, Lord Leviathan has won the last 9 consecutive rallies.
Does Outworld
And
get
also,
to invade
there's the fact that his pit crew is literally throwing gold into the crowd.
I was gonna say, well, distraction is probably really easy if we want to start just picking fights with the people trying to grab the gold.
Yes, but we don't want to be caught in it, is the problem.
Bob, how distracting do you want to be?
On a scale from a child's party favor to a supernova, I can do all of them.
What do you have somewhere along the lines of train wreck we can't look away from?
Yes. And so I'm going to. So what Bob is going to do is essentially disincorporate ever so slightly. And Brendan, tell me if you want me to roll sort of alien movement for this. But essentially, his like robo like servers that are also kind of crystalline sort of come apart and like float in the air a little bit, and you start to hear this like thumping beat that essentially drowns out all of the other parade sort of fanfare, um, as Bob like slowly starts spinning up in the air and turns basically into a disco ball.
Yeah.
So let me see. That is an 11. So it's disco party at the float time.
Yeah,
This is why I can't manage to sell him. He keeps doing shit like this.
And we love it.
Bob starts a rave in the parade route, and sure enough, between the crush of people trying to get themselves covered in gold leaf and just the general festival atmosphere, people are in the immortal words of David Bowie and Mick Jagger, dancing in the streets. And it has brought the parade to a screeching halt, as a soccer riot is more or less just breaking out all around you. And several members of the pit crew have actually jumped down from the sides of the trailer to start trying to clear the path, as this could potentially threaten to make Lord Leviathan late getting back to his ship, which would be real rough.
Uh-huh.
So you have at least a partial distraction going on.
So how big is this trailer exactly?
Imagine an 18-wheeler.
Okay, cool. We're on top of it. I'm just gonna cut a hole in the top to drop down.
All right. I'm gonna say go ahead and roll to act quick.
Act quick.
Act quick. Quick.
Oh, well, one of them was a 6, but I forget what other one I rolled, and it went into the other group. So I'm just gonna roll it again.
Yep, go for it, and then add.
Sorry. Okay, that's an 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. You do it without complications. You were graceful, swift, or acrobatic when you do it. Do you want to describe how Saber executes this cunning ninja maneuver?
So Saber pulls the massive dagger out of their thigh holster, spins it around. As it spins, it extends into a full-on saber and just slams it down and creates this giant hole just big enough for anyone who wants to in our party to drop down into the trailer.
I'm coming with you.
Heck yeah. And they just glance around and then hop down in.
Okay. You drop down into the interior of the trailer, and the majority of it is taken up by the towers of the supercomputer that houses Lord Leviathan's brain. And then the walls are bedecked in various tools for working on the ship, on the computer. There are weapons, as well as you see one member of the pit crew standing next to your regulator, propped up in the corner. But he is not the only one in there. There are two other members of the crew in there with you who, one does not seem to have noticed you, but the other has.
Okay, so the moment
one of them has spotted you, but he has not yet had a chance to react.
So the moment I notice them, I am going to use suggestion, and I'm going to say, "Oh, you want to help us get this regulator back to our ship? Lord Leviathan said that it should really go back there right now." And I'm going to use suggestion.
Okay.
So discharge this move and roll plus alien. I know which two I'm rolling this time. Well, it's a 7. No, wait, it's an 8, but still. So I choose one, but they realize that I messed with their head.
All right. He looks at you and is about to say something, and then just sort of nods, and goes over to the guy next to the regulator, gets his attention, and kind of shoves him roughly on the shoulder, and kind of points over at you guys. And the guy is like, "What?" And they together pick up the regulator and pass it off to you and Imogene. And I guess you guys are just gonna kind of just like hulk it back up out of the.
Yeah. I was gonna suggest we cut another hole out the bottom, and then we just continue to go down and then across.
Going down. Sure, cool. I'm not even gonna make you roll for that. Yep.
Just now you're thinking with portals.
Yep. Now you're thinking with portals. Just gonna drop down. Which then you both drop down under, and there's just enough clearance underneath the wheels where you can lay down as the trailer is rolling over top of you, slowly, as the crowd is slowly being dispersed in front of it. And it is actually around that time that you hear some yelling coming from the hole. Like, oh, wait, hey, no, wait, no. No, she did a thing. She did it. No, it's not my fault. She did a mind thing.
Imogene's gonna say, she's gonna like touch where the communicator is, and she's gonna say, "Mother, would you tell Hetty that we're heading back to the ship?" And then I think just
we're gonna
mosey
book
on.
It.
Yeah.
So you two are gonna mosey. Meanwhile, up at the top of the platform, Hetty, you get this message in your ear right at the same time that you see Lord Leviathan cock his head to the side, as you assume he is also getting a message from his pit crew inside of the trailer, and his eyes narrow at you.
Well,
I underestimated you, Henrietta.
You
will not do so again.
Seem to have your hands full. So you know what? I'm gonna go and solve this problem myself. And good luck with the race. And we'll see what happens at the end of it. And how we can continue this conversation about me catching up on my payments later. So don't want to waste any more of your time. Clearly you're gonna need it to get to your ship in time to get going. So see ya. And she's just gonna like hop off and scurry off into the crowd.
All
Cool.
right.
Bob is vibing. He is just like feeling the beat. So you're just gonna hear like this sort of disembodied "Catch you later, Hetty."
Bob's like, we still got like 70. He's like, no, we still got like 65 minutes. I'm chilling.
I would come back to the ship, but man, this playlist bumping.
Are you sure you don't want to stay? I am about to drop the bass.
I'm so glad you said that before I took a drink of water. All right, you reconvene back at the ship, and you manage to frantically reinstall the regulator. You're not sure how well that duct tape is going to hold at high speed, but it's there. It certainly is there right now. And we cut to a mass of ships slowly floating away from Roulette towards the starting line. There are feeds up showing crowds watching from Roulette and from other surrounding ships. There is a live update with the odds being given to each of the respective ships, along with their starting positions and projected times.
What are our odds?
Well,
The sort of odds where the fact that I bet on us means I'm going to make a lot of money when we finish, right?
Depending on where you finish, yes. Yes. Depending on where you finish, you could stand to make a lot of money. Depending on where you finish, you could potentially stand to lose quite a bit of money. I mean, sure, it's a good thing you didn't mortgage the ship on it or anything. Like that would be really irresponsible.
Mm-hmm.
Would never.
No.
Never.
That sounds like a different other space pirate.
The sort of person who has a ship named Roll of the Dice would never bet
the house.
Bet their ship.
The cluster is beginning to start their sublight engines and bring up their systems. This first stretch is where a lot of ships drop out. It is a mad dash to the optimal jump point to the Sol system. And given how clustered up everyone is and how narrow that optimal jump trajectory is, it frequently turns into a demolition derby. Many larger ships in particular are not shy about just plowing through smaller ships that are in their path. As soon as the go signal is given, it's going to be mayhem. And you guys have a choice to make. You guys can try your luck trying to plow straight through in the scrum to the jump point. Or you can do what some of the smaller and more agile ships are trying to do, which is to escape the pack and try to come at the jump point from an outside angle, reducing their risk of damage or potential destruction here in the early stage, but risking that they will not hit the optimal jump trajectory, and that will hurt the position that they enter the soul system at.
Unless one of you talks her out of it, Hetty is absolutely gonna just like go for it. Just like head on.
I was gonna say, Imogene's kind of standing next to you, and she like tilts her head to the side, like you've seen her do when she's like listening to the AI that's in her data pad, and then she tilts her head back up like straight, and she's like, Mother says that they tried to go under and through the last time, and they think that didn't work out. So Mother votes we just push. And then she kind of like sits in the other empty seat, just like very still, puts her hands on her lap, and is just like, this is probably the stillest you've seen Imogene since she like showed up to your like Craigslist ad looking for employees.
All right. The high risk option it is. High risk, high reward.
All right.
Hetty, have you calculated the odds of success with this approach?
I've got a good feeling about it.
Interesting. I look forward to learning more about this good feeling after we succeed.
Mhm.
I'm choosing to be optimistic.
I feel like
good plan.
I feel like Bob and Mother don't get along. I feel like he doubts.
You see the floating signal station move from red to yellow, and finally to green. And even through your hull, you can hear the deafening din of so many other starship engines roaring to life around you. It vibrates the roll of the dice, and you are pushed forward at maximum velocity. The dampening fields surrounding you normally would make it so you could not feel the incredible speeds that you move at for space travel, but they were not designed to handle full near light velocity. You're pretty sure that you strapped everything down. Pretty sure.
You know, we had a busy morning.
And you're doing pretty well right out of the gate. You have been able to take advantage of the roll of the dice's generally smaller size to zip in between several of the larger ships. But your awkward cubic design threatens to work against you as you try to slip between a pair of smaller, agile ships as you approach the jump point. Hetty, I'm going to go ahead and have you act quick.
Okay. That is going to be an 11.
All right, cool. You want to describe what sort of daring maneuver Hetty decides to execute?
I think it is like the signature weird trick of this ship is that it actually does like a tumble roll, like a rolling die, and just like as the ships are starting to almost convene to cut off the access point that would have been dead ahead, the ship sort of rolls, and it does this weird thing where it when it rolls like that, it sort of almost like juts like a zigzag pattern forward, so it manages to sort of hop skip over where these two ships are and then land in front of them and continue its weird jerky movement forward.
Indeed, the roll of the dice tumbles through space, bouncing against the edges of the ley line stream like an ancient craps table. And at last, you pass through the two gigantic megaliths carved from asteroids that warn that this is the gate to Lost Soul. And if you're going to be making a jump, this is going to be the point at which you want to do it. So, whoever wants to be sort of in charge of the jump engines, give me a roll of alien.
I can take the jump engines. That sounds like a thing that I can help with.
Sounds like a Bob task.
Yeah, jump engines. Right.
Hit it,
How do
Bob.
those work again? Let me see. A roll of alien.
Alien.
5 and a 4 plus a 2. That's a 11.
All right. Okay. Doing pretty good. So on a 10 plus, you made it out with no complications. Do you want to describe how the roll of the dice's occult engines drag you through the underside of the universe across the cosmic gulf to Earth, or to Soul, I should say?
It's very strange. If you were standing close enough to observe it, which I would not advise you do, you would see the cube essentially become a tesseract. So it's very bright. It's sort of a riot of color, right? Like just everything colors.
Perfect.
And you see it kind of shrink in on itself, but the outline stays in just kind of like little sort of gold and silver filaments as the colorful part of the ship shrinks in. And then there's more of a sensation than a sound of just kind of a pop as it leaves sort of Einsteinian space. Um, and the after image kind of sticks in your vision in sort of little purple and silver lines for a second. It's a very sort of beautiful thing, but also deeply unsettling because, a couple thousand tons of matter just went somewhere else. And it sends kind of a cold shiver down your spine as you're sitting there in your spacesuit looking at what had been a ship.
Excellent. And there were no complications this time. And you hit the optimal jump trajectory. So you once you are able to detect that you are indeed a corporeal being with the correct number of limbs again, you look at your monitors and you see that, yes, you have arrived on the outskirts of Lost Soul. Indeed, you are approaching the first checkpoint. That would be the moon of Pluto. The last human redoubt on the edge of the old solar system. There was a time during the Exodus when they tried to establish a colony on Pluto to retain a foothold in your home system, in the hopes that one day that they might be able to return, to take it back. But this was not to be. As in the distance, the far horizon, you can see the tiniest pale blue star of Earth. And the fact that you can see it from Pluto, and by implication, that the things there can see you, was too much for its inhabitants. Now all that remains there are a few frozen ice stations, observatories with radio telescopes pointed toward Earth, listening perpetually for any sign of survivors. They listen still. But in the meantime, you have emerged in a tight pack of ships hurtling towards the first checkpoint. There are currently 2 ships ahead of you. The Black Goat and the Dukes of Alhazred.
I love it.
Behind you, rapidly closing the gap, are the Jiayo and the 404 translator error.
These guys. They kicked me off their ship.
Now, what
And
could you possibly have done to warrant getting kicked off a ship?
It's too late to worry about that now. There's nowhere to kick me.
Hetty, aren't you going to congratulate me on a perfectly executed jump?
Oh my god. Good job doing the thing that you're supposed to do. Like, you didn't congratulate me for whatever. Like, just go.
And
this is facilitating bonding between the crew.
There are 2 ships in position ahead of you, 2 ships behind you, and there is 1 ship that is more or less neck and neck with you, but they appear to be having some difficulties. It does appear that their jump was not nearly as smooth as yours was. They appear to be surrounded by a swarm of bat-winged creatures, somehow adapted to survive in the vacuum of space, their wings alighting on the streams of dark energy that fills the black between the stars.
Better them than us.
Now, moreover, Hetty, you recognize this ship.
Do I?
It is the Uzumaki, piloted by your erstwhile criminal cohort, Screamin' Mad George.
Fucking George.
God damn it, George.
Does this mean we need to help them?
That is entirely up to you. You could attempt to help George, but that would likely mean devoting energy and trajectory away from booking it for the checkpoints. Only the first checkpoint. You could potentially make up that ground later, but you do have 2 ships ahead of you and 2 ships rapidly trying to overtake you.
I do have a quick question before we proceed with making decisions.
Yeah.
Does seeing this and being in this place, I think this causes me to take Storm. Because I think turning and seeing this happening to George's ship immediately, I feel like is encountering something directly relating to my my orphaning.
I think that sounds accurate. Yes.
Okay.
Oh goody.
Just a quick little note for.
We'll deal with that later.
Oh.
That's a wonderful tone and a wonderful facial expression.
Well, the storm track is 5, and I did not realize that being an orphan, I take 3. upon this encounter.
All right.
Oh.
Well.
So that'll be sooner than we thought. Got it.
Yeah, that's...
Hetty,
Whoops.
doesn't... Saber, remind me, doesn't George owe Hetty money?
I think he does.
Fine, we'll help George. Not like a ton, just a couple shots to get some of them off his back so he can figure it out. Then it's up to him to deal with this.
And remind him that the ammo that we use up, the energy that we use up, he now owes us.
I'll have Mother
add it to his tab.
Okay, I'll have Mother draft him a letter.
Perfect.
All right.
Given that we're trying to maintain speed, would missiles be cheaper? From an energy use standpoint, of course.
Did George ever get his shields replaced?
That sounds like a George problem.
We are playing with George's life right now.
Oh, no.
Well, so I know you guys do have gun turrets on the roll
Yeah,
of
we
the
do.
dice. So, the question is who wants to hop into one of the gun turrets? I would say at this point you have they are not immediately threatening you, so you are able to use the Alpha Strike move as opposed to the Firefight move. Which would be calculating.
Cool. Well, I have a 0 on calculating.
Big sames. But I think I'll roll it. I think from my seat beside where Hetty is, Imogene reaches forward to engage in that. For a 9.
Hey.
9. All right, rolling pretty well. Not giving me a lot of opportunities to mess with you.
I'm sure they will come.
It will end.
Oh yeah.
There has to be a reason why we thought we could pull this off in the first place. So, we've got to start good and then let things just devolve from there.
All right, so on a 7 to 9, you take what you can get. So choose one from the Alpha Strike move.
Yep, I am looking at our ship. Can I go with disarm or disable them? Am I looking at the right spot?
Yes. Yeah.
So I think that's what I end up doing.
Okay, cool. All right. So disarm or disable them. So you are explicitly taking. So you're not picking that your position isn't exposed or compromised.
I don't think I have the foresight to do that.
Cool. Okay. So you hop into the gun turret and get a lock on. There's this the little targeting reticles just pop up all across this swarm, and you let fly with the bolt throwers that this thing is equipped with, firing these magnetic projectiles across the gulf of space between you, uninhibited by any sort of atmospheric interference that would throw off their accuracy or velocity. And your aim is true. You have successfully taken out, you would guess, about half of this swarm, either by destroying them outright or by damaging the wings that they use to alight through space. But some of the swarm remains, and while a couple of them have already latched on to the hull of the Uzumaki and are proceeding to try and chew their way through, few of them, detecting an immediate threat, have broken off from the rest of the swarm and are closing distance laterally to you.
Let's get close to a couple of these other ships. Maybe they'll attack them.
I was gonna say, yeah. From the turret, I just radio back in, and I'm like, so helped George, didn't help us. And then I actually have to go real quick because my grandmother's calling me. I will be right back.
Sure. All right, and so Anya, you suggested trying to try and outrun them and to see if you could get any of the other ships to draw aggro.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna actually have Anya, if you want to try to plot out a route on the navigational console that will try to sort of throw them off of you. Go ahead and give me an act quick roll.
Cool. Space dice, don't fail me. That's a 9.
All right, so on a 9, you do it, but you choose one of those options.
Okay. So hang on one second. Act quick. So it's just one of the 3 act quick things?
Options, yes.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to have disadvantage. I like this. You've left something behind. What would they leave behind?
That's a great question. If you will the Space Master gets to decide what you left behind, so it's entirely a question of whether you pick that or not.
I'm gonna just go with suffering 1 stress. Push to the limits, suffer 1 stress.
All right. Yeah, you are doing your best to try and plot a route to shake them off, but as they are closing in on you with your finely tuned mystic senses, you can sense them getting closer to you. You can feel their cold and predatory instincts, and you're not accustomed to feeling hunted quite like this. You felt afraid before, but you've never felt like prey. And that is unsettling to you.
Interesting.
But you are at least able to plot a route that you are able to send to Hetty's console. So for this, we're going to be just using sort of a general sort of race mechanic. And Hetty, I'm going to go ahead and have you just roll 2d6. I am going to give you a -1 on the roll just because you're having to follow a slightly circuitous route to try and shake them off and get them onto the other ships. That is not necessarily the most optimal trajectory you could take towards the checkpoint. So just give me a 2d6 -1 roll.
Sorry, is that me?
Oh, that's you. Sorry.
Sorry. I got distracted because my cat was jumping up underneath my desk
Oh, no.
and I was saying hi.
That, that is a very legitimate reason.
Sorry.
Being a
You said it was a -1 to my roll?
-1, yes.
Okay, I got an 8.
Okay, so you succeed. You are pressing ahead. You have not lost ground. In fact, you are widening the gap between you were slowly widening the gap between you and the Jayo and the 404 translator error, and closing rapidly with the Black Goat and the Dukes of El Hazred.
I love that one.
No sign of Lord Leviathan's ship yet, right?
No sign of Lord Leviathan's ship as of yet.
Is that
interesting?
Is that something we should be worried about?
I don't know. He could be still behind you a ways. He could have hit the jump point at a suboptimal trajectory. He could have hit it ahead of you. You sort of lost track of him in the scrum. So he could be ahead of you. He could be behind you. You're not sure. And you are able to weave between the Black Goat and the Dukes of Alhazred and the remaining creatures as you sort of do a rolling swoop around, like spiraling your way, corkscrewing around the Black Goat. They are shaken off of you and latch on to the shields surrounding the Black Goat. And you see the Black Goat losing velocity as their tendrils try to probe the energy shield surrounding it and appear to be draining power from the ship. And
looks good to me.
You have a moment to potentially regret that or not before you get an alert on your console that you have just passed the first checkpoint.
Do we get any information about our position relative to the other participants?
Yes. So taking a look, so the information gets updated somewhat slowly. It tends to get it's not it's not a rapid real-time update, but as data packages are beamed back to Roulette from Pluto, the standings will update. So at this point, you do get a ping that shows the current standings. You guys are not quite in the lead, but you are close to it. At this point, you are actually in 4th place as of the last update. Currently, the standings are 1st place, Lord Leviathan. 2nd place, the Weed Lord Boner Killer. 3rd place, the Dukes of Alhazred, and 4th place, the Roll of the Dice.
Fierce competitors all.
Yes. It appears that
absolutely.
It appears that Screamin' Mad George is closing up behind you. He has Screamin' Mad George has overtaken the Black Goat, and the Uzumaki is coming in behind you at 5th place.
All right.
So.
All right, doing good, team.
So now there's another choice ahead of you. The second checkpoint is on Saturn, which is a decent distance. Now, you can do it with your non-jump drives, but it will take you some time. Not so much time necessarily that you'll be unable to complete the race, as your non-jump drives are still putting you at still fractions of the speed of light. But you could shorten that distance considerably by engaging your jump engines. The question is, do you want to string that many jumps close together?
I recommend that we do another jump, Hetty. We'll gain some ground.
Sounds good to me. We're
Bob,
not here
are
to
you
get
going
fourth
by your
place.
gut feeling? Sorry. Bob, are you going by your gut feeling?
I don't have a gut, but I do have a feeling.
Sounds good enough for me.
Your feeling then.
Unlike your mother, I'm rather more than simple linear algebra.
Listen, Mother didn't say anything to you today, Bob.
That was a your mom joke, and I love it.
It's the kind of quality content you can expect from Life in the Apocalypse. That and the Weed Lord Boner Killer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so in that case, if you
You'll
want
have to explain that aphorism to me later. I don't get it.
All right, so you're going to try and engage jump engines again to close the distance between Pluto and Saturn. So go ahead and whoever wants to engage the jump engines, roll alien again, though you will take a net -1, well, I say a -1 penalty. So you still add your alien score, but there is
Okay.
a -1 to the roll.
Okay. Shall I?
Have
Go
at it,
for
Bob.
it.
Let me see. 12, so that is 13, 14, 13.
Okay.
Bob does one thing and he does
wait.
it very well.
Hang on. 9, sorry, 11. Calculating.
Calculating.
Yeah. No, I can't get a 13 with a -1.
But you also have
10.
your positive to alien as well.
Yeah. 10.
10. Okay. Well, still good. Still 10 plus. You made it out with no. So you made it out, and you choose 1 from the list.
Yes. Where is it?
That'll be under the fold space drive on the Marauder page.
Oh, it's on the Marauder page. I'm sorry, I was
Yes.
looking on the other thing.
You're good.
Yeah. I was looking under actions. I'm like, where did it go? Yeah. So, let's see. Mark 1 maintenance.
Mark 1 maintenance. Okay.
Yeah, it was harder on the ship than it should have been. Too many variables.
Do you want to describe how this jump looks?
So unlike the sort of interplanetary jump that happened last time, this is a much less dramatic affair. It essentially what happens is if you picture the cube sort of tumbling, I'm not sure if that's showing up quite right.
Yes.
It really just kind of accelerates and eventually kind of turns into a little sphere. And then you actually see it kind of shoot across, still at least the after image in sublight speed, even though obviously the jump is FTL. So you could almost again trace the sort of little purple after image on a line toward Saturn if you felt like it.
You come to a sudden stop at the point in real space where your calculations placed you ending. And as you do, there is this lurch forward, as again anything that you had not strapped down lurches the full distance across the room in the other direction, and you can hear the struts of the cube's superstructure groaning under the strain.
Sorry, I think that we may have ended up closer to the gravitational well of one of the moons than I intended. Slight tidal stress there.
Maybe
Still think you did better than we could have.
Maybe avoid the jump for the next checkpoint, though. Give the ship a chance to breathe.
As we get further down the gravity well, it will be much harder to do.
Does the ship breathe? Hetty, you didn't tell me the ship breathed.
Not like breathe, like just
there's minimal gas.
Using the warp drive for a minute.
When I asked you when I joined the crew if there was anything weird on the ship, you just pointed at Bob and said that. Like, what? Now you're telling me the ship breathes. I feel lied to.
The ship doesn't breathe. The ship doesn't actually breathe. Okay.
We're leaking very little atmosphere compared to our usual metrics.
Oh, well, that's fine.
I'll be honest, I'm surprised that Hetty didn't point to me as well. I'm a little disappointed.
You probably
You're
just
well
weren't in the
within-
room when a conversation happened.
Well, that would make
You're
sense.
you're well within parameters for a sentient bipedal entity.
You certainly have a way of putting things in perspective.
Yep.
You
Sentient
have
bipedal.
you have found yourselves again near to the second checkpoint. You are still waiting on the next update of the standings. So you're not sure just how much you may have been able to make up in terms of the standings yet. But notably, at least in the immediate area, you do not see the Duke of Alhazred. So presumably they either didn't engage their jump engines, jumped somewhere behind you, or managed to jump way, way ahead of you. But that is not the only ship that is that could be nearby. You are getting readouts from all around you. You are in the midst of a massive debris field. All around you is a graveyard of starships. Broken and blasted hulks, and the derelict ruins of space stations and orbiting habitats. This is the wreckage that was left behind by the Titanomachy, the interplanetary conflict that ultimately woke the Old Ones. And you can see the beacon for the checkpoint on your monitor. And it is predictably in the dead center of the debris field.
Of course it is.
So, blast a hole through?
Yeah. We can
Seems
get blasted.
reasonable.
Ayy.
We're certainly on the smaller side. That should help.
All right, so you're going to try and use your mounted turrets to try and blast away any errant pieces of debris that are getting too close.
Yes, that's the plan.
Okay.
Yep.
Such as it is.
Cool. I'm going to say anyone who wants to man a turret can. I'm going to have as many people as you want. Go ahead and actually, I'm going to treat this as a firefight. As things are actively coming at you, or rather, you're coming at them very rapidly.
Yeah.
I'm
See, how
assuming
many
that
turrets
Hetty
do we
is the
have?
pilot, so it's up to the rest of you guys to be the turrets.
I would say I can continue. I think Imogen never came down from the turret when she climbed up into the previous ones. She's just kind of stayed up there. So I can take the first crack at it. And is that going to be with calculating?
That's so firefight, I believe, is
No, firefight
volatile.
is volatile. Oh, good. I have a point in that. 4, 5, 9, so 10.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so exchange harm and choose 3.
Oh god. It's more than I wanted.
3 is good. In this case, 3 is good.
3 is good, I know.
Yes.
You're asking me to make decisions.
Oh, I see.
I think take evasive action and suffer 1 less harm.
Mhm.
You're able to hold a position or halt in advance. So I think probably with our actions, we create more debris behind us.
Mhm.
that would interfere with our competitors.
Ah, clever. All right. I'll mark that down.
And for the third one, you're able to disengage and take a moment to recover. So it gives the ship a minute to, quote unquote, breathe.
Yes. All right. Yeah. So at least through this first section, Imogene is. Do you just want to just describe how you are asteroid / space invadering this shit?
I think it seems, if anyone were to come into the turret and watch her, it seems very unnatural, because it's like minute, just like all of a sudden she just like shifts at like complete like just sharply. It doesn't look natural or fluid at all. And you can't, and she's got her head tilted to the side like she does sometimes, and you can't tell if she's listening to Mother or if she's listening to that other thing that you see her listen to sometimes, where it's just some kind of like vacant disconnect that she goes into as she does things. And you can't tell if she's getting kind of like an instinctual feedback from being in this space or if she's getting actual instruction from Mother about where to shoot. But from the outside, it just looks like the turret is just like just almost mechanically.
Cool. Anyone else hopping in a turret? There is a lot of debris, so unfortunately, I will say, as good as Imogene is doing, there is sufficient debris that Imogene alone cannot clear this debris field.
Well, Saber is confident, even though they probably shouldn't be for something like this, so they'll do it.
Confidence versus eagerness.
Yeah.
Enthusiasm counts for something.
Exactly. Probably doesn't count for something here. 7.
All right, well, you get to choose one.
Okay. Let me look at these. So, make an advance. That would just be continuing on our way to the checkpoint, right?
Well, so you can make an advance or force your enemy out of cover. At least for this, it would be just continuing on towards your goal, or making it easier to proceed towards your goal.
So, since Imogene has done the debris behind us, I feel like that one would make the most sense to make it like a little bit easier for us to continue on our route.
Okay, clearing a pathway.
Yes.
And while they are doing this, Bob, you are sort of paying attention to the ship systems, not really looking at the actual readouts, just sort of, knowing these things. When you...
I think and I know things.
Yeah, I think and I know things.
Yeah.
Dick Cards could not have put it better. You are sort of looking through the ship's sensors and looking at the various debris. You're mostly looking for any errant pieces of debris that might slip through the field of fire that Imogene and Saber are creating. When you notice that there is a bit of debris that is moving towards you, and then it changes course.
Don't like that.
Hetty, some of the debris is moving erratically.
I mean, it's debris. It's
not. No, it's under acceleration, not simply on a parallax track.
Do we think it's maybe not debris?
Suggest we take evasive maneuvers.
Okay.
All right. with that, I'm actually going to have us take just a quick 5-minute break. And then we will come back and deal with that.
Space!
And on that note, we are back.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi.
everyone. So thank you for bearing with us there. And also welcome so much to our raiders that have just joined the stream. Also, was remiss earlier because couldn't see the stream on my end. Thank you so much to the people who have been donating so far to our Extra Life campaign. We are so glad that you have been able to help us do that, and we hope that you're enjoying what you see here. We'll be doing this all day today. This game is going to be running till probably for another hour, a little more so. Then we'll have another game coming up after that, and another game coming up after that for a solid 12 hours of streaming goodness.
Woohoo!
But in the meantime, there is a piece of space debris that is behaving in a way that space debris generally does not behave in your experience.
And boy, have I seen some space debris.
You're flying in some right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it appears to be changing course under its own power.
Suspicious.
The sensors aren't picking up a drive signature, but it's nonetheless moving. Perhaps another one of those creatures?
I think to test it out and see if it is in fact something following us, I'm gonna try and do evasive piloting.
Okay.
Instead of just like a straight line.
Zigzags.
Get that signature dice roll zigzag going.
The good old traditional dice bob and weave.
So, with the successes that Imogene and Saber got you with the gun turrets, shooting a path through the debris field for you, you were able to execute those evasive maneuvers without really any additional danger to the ship. And meanwhile, Bob, you keeping a close eye on this bit of debris, it does seem to be, it's not directly following you. It seems almost like it's trying to keep a tail's distance from you.
Okay. So let me scope it out and see who or what here could be a useful opportunity if I can.
Cool. And then would you like to use the sensor array for that as well?
Yeah.
So you have.
I thought that was how I used the sensor array.
Yes, yeah. So you just didn't mention specifically you were using it, so I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, sorry.
Yes. And so using your sensor array with scope out, you have advantage. So you can roll an additional d6 and drop.
Oh, nice. That didn't help. Oh well. So it's just with calculating. So
Yep.
That's an 8.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So that was an 8, you said?
Yeah. So who or what here could be a useful opportunity is the one I want to hit.
Who or what here could be a useful opportunity? Opportunity. Well, let's see. If nothing else, you are starting to get a better sense of what it might be. It is using minimal engines, and it looks like it doesn't have a lot of life support, which is partly why it didn't immediately ping on your sensor sweep of the area.
Eddie, This looks like it could be a salvage opportunity if you feel like making a small detour. I didn't recognize it at first, but it looks like it might be a lifeboat. Perhaps a ransom?
How
we have
about
time for that?
Our position is good, but we're by no means an in shoe.
It's true.
You mean
Having
a shoe-in.
Do I?
Yes.
Good.
Having some extra cash in hand in case we don't get the prize money could be useful to keep certain wolves at bay when we get back to roulette. So
You
I
hear
assume your bets for and against us will pay off one way or another.
you hear from Imogene's turret just a soft piped up. There could be children in there, and then nothing else.
all right, let's.
I can't determine the chronological age of anything which is potentially inside. We'd have to get much closer.
All right, well, let's do it cautiously and just maybe, Bob, is there any way you can get over there first to like double check that this isn't like a trap?
What if it's a trap for me?
You always find your way back here anyway. What are they going to do that I haven't already tried to sell you to?
Okay. I can try.
I suppose.
So Bob will sort of dematerialize a little bit again, and essentially what he does is he stands still, and you guys perceive this as Bob just like phasing through the wall of the ship as you accelerate past, but really he's just stopping relative to the motion of the ship so he can take a closer look. And oh, that's good. That is an 11.
Ooh.
And so I can use my little alien motion dealy bobber to forget what the correct term is for the action I'm taking here. Unique movement.
Yeah, and so for in this case, since you're using this to gain an advantage in a situation, I will have you discharge that move.
Very good.
Cool. You are floating through space, moving yourself incorporeally, using a method of locomotion that even you are not 100% sure how the physics of that work. You weren't programmed for it, so you know.
It would be inadvisable for me to be able to replicate myself.
And you get closer, and it does look like a derelict vessel. It is moving under its own power, but with only the most minimum of engine bursts. And again, as you were able to tell before, giving it a look over with your cybernetic senses, it appears as though if it has life support, it is running at minimum. And
okay, I'm going to go up and knock on the hatch.
just gonna boop on the hatch.
Boop, boop, boop.
I find that this generally unsettles most beings.
That's fantastic. Okay, yep. Clank, clank.
I just had a really painful hiccup.
Are you gonna be
okay? Hetty instruct.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Just gonna.
Sorry, Saber. Hetty instructed me to use a very particular pattern for this.
Bless.
Okay.
I don't understand the significance, but it seems to always work.
You don't get an immediate response, but go ahead and give me another roll to scope it out.
Is there a doorbell, perhaps?
Just ding dong ditch him.
So that's a 7.
7. Okay. Your perception is a little dull. Ask one question.
Okay. Do I recognize the type of lifeboat it is, or perhaps see the name of a ship?
Okay. So you are able to, floating around the outside, see a registration number that you are able to run through some files that you downloaded debatably legally from a console back on roulette.
That Napster, so convenient.
Napster 7.5.
And it is registered to a ship that it looks like it has not been heard from in close to 40 years.
I believe this is called antiquing.
Bob.
There is also one other thing as you are sort of floating around the exterior. There is some scoring on the surface of the vessel that initially you thought to be due to just the adverse environment that it has been floating in, but a pattern begins to emerge to you with your unique ability to piece things together. You realize that some of this scoring is deliberate, as though almost someone or something has been engaged in scarifying the hull of the ship. And it is in a language that you are not accustomed to seeing, but which does exist in your memory banks. It reads, Ia, Cthulhu Ptagan.
If
I heard Cthulhu.
If I had the ability to go mad, I believe I would. Thankfully, I don't. You should not approach this vessel.
Are you sure it's not worth anything?
Well, to the right being, it would be worth quite a bit, but I don't know that you want to negotiate with him.
Is it because we don't think Hetty can negotiate?
No, we know Hetty can't negotiate. That's why we had to steal the engine back. But
I mean, absolutely fair.
While you may not wish to approach the ship does appear to be approaching you slowly. Almost all if you did not know better, you would assume that it was just haphazardly drifting in your direction. It is only actually because you are so close to it, Bob, that you are able to detect the microbursts from its engine that it is using to push its trajectory and its momentum slowly and indirectly, but inexorably towards the roll of the dice.
I think we might have to grab a hold of it, if only to prevent a collision, because we don't want to deviate from our current orbital tack. It'll put us behind on the checkpoint number 3. Let's proceed with caution here, Hetty. Saber, could you meet me in the cargo bay?
Of course. Gets out of the turret.
All right, so Bob,
bring your sword.
Bob, you're returning to the you're returning to the roll of the dice.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, I think so.
All right, so You guys meet in the cargo bay.
So, why do you need my sword?
Well, one, because I'm not sure that they'll be able to open the door, and that sword seems to be handy for opening things. But also, in case whoever's inside doesn't like us.
Fair. Do you think they're going to try to get on the ship?
Yes.
Could we shoot them first?
We could. Imogen, would you like to try to shoot it first?
You sure there's no kids on there?
No.
If I have to.
If it's something that's going to seriously injure us or potentially kill
Well,
us,
hold on. Let me see.
Sorry,
them first.
Did
Let
I
me
not
see what
say
Mother
it's
says.
it was inscribed rather forcefully in the language of the deep old ones.
Oh yeah, I'll
Those
shoot
are
that.
Those are
No, I'll
just
shoot
a
that.
myth.
I'm sorry, I forgot to mention.
I'll shoot it. It's fine.
Yeah, I'd rather that not come on board.
You gotta lead with that, man.
9.
All right, are you using Alpha Strike?
Oh, I was just gonna go with volatile.
So I'm saying in this case you're probably gonna want to use Alpha Strike, which would be calculating. So
Okay.
You can keep the die roll, but just add.
Then it's just 8
as a,
because
okay.
it was a 5 and a 3. My volatile is +1, so it's either a 9 or an 8.
Okay, cool. So choose one from the Alpha Strike table.
Alpha Strike. Alpha Strike.
It's a great name.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It sounds so fun.
Saber's just like limbering up, like swishing the sword around, just in case.
Just in case.
Just
in case this just pisses them off.
I
in casey's.
I think in this situation, because I got the heads up about the old ones, I will say the position isn't exposed or compromised.
Okay. You fire off the turrets at this erstwhile piece of space debris, and you connect, and it doesn't look as though it has been destroyed, but it has been knocked off course, and you are able to time your shot precisely so that it is going to be putting the hulk of another spacecraft between you and them, so that it is going to, presumably while you are behind this hulk, take them a moment to reacquire you once you have passed the other side. So you have a moment to figure out what your next move is going to be, though you have at this point alerted them that you are aware of their presence.
I suggest we jump.
I think that's a good idea.
You said that it was going to get more dangerous the closer we got.
Yes.
It is, and at this point, you have yet to cross the second checkpoint. You could make a jump directly to the checkpoint, or at least attempt to if you wanted to.
Would it be easier because it's close?
No.
Actually, the inverse tends to be true. The more precise and short a distance you're trying to do, the harder it is to accomplish. But it is an option.
Quick mechanical question. Is there a way for like me and Imogen to collaborate on this with our powers combined, Wonder Twins across the...
We are Captain Planet.
Am I going the right way? No, wait, I'm going the wrong way. This way.
That way.
There is a...
That way? I don't know. Need to go look
Yes,
at the stream.
yes, that is lean on me.
Yeah.
Yes. So that would be So someone would be the primary actor, and then someone would be helping them, and the person helping would roll stalwart before the main actor rolls. So what are you thinking?
I think I could use...
What scheme are y'all concocting?
I think I could use your mother's help in calculating this jump. I'm going to need every shred of processing power that I can get. much as it chagrins me to say it.
Okay, pause because Bob is asking for Mother's help.
Well, to be fair, Mother is the only other life form on here that is not a sentient bipedal. So that might not be as much of a compliment as you think it is.
Just like, yeah, in the turret, Imogene tilts her head to listen to Mother, and Mother hesitates out of purely AI pettiness, and then is like, okay, so I will climb down out of the turret to go and help. And I'll just say over the comms as I approach, it's like, Mother has agreed.
Took her long enough.
Mm-hmm.
That was a 5 picosecond pause. Don't think I didn't notice.
I don't know what you're talking about. And so it's stalwart.
Roll stalwart, yes.
Stalwart. That is a +0 for me.
Honestly, I'm just gonna say, stalwart for some reason is a word that I love. I just love the word stalwart.
I don't like that face. I don't like that face.
That's a 5 and a 1. That's a 6, folks.
Our first out and out failure of the game, I believe.
No pressure.
Yeah. So before you roll, I'm gonna take a hard move. In this instance, for that failure, you are just starting to move past the large hull of the Space Hulk. And as it passes you, suddenly you can see on your scopes that other ship is suddenly much closer to you than it was before. And you can see it sprouting a series of grappling robotic arms.
Oh shit.
Like insectile limbs that proceed to just split into more and more articulated appendages that begin to reach towards you, and which it clearly intends to wrap the roll of the dice up in. Unfortunately, the calculations are proving more complex than even you anticipated. And even with Mother's help, it's gonna be tough. So you can roll alien at a -2.
Oh.
Interesting. Hetty, we should make a note that chitin seems to be much more radiation resistant than I would have thought based on the arms of this entity. Just food for thought for the next armor upgrade. Anyway, here we go.
Terrorist, man.
Oh god, that's a 6. That's terrible.
Oh no!
Oh no!
All those good rolls used up.
All those good rolls are used up.
Yep.
All right.
You are just getting ready. You think you finally you have the calculation.
Yeah, Justin, fucking grip it and rip it, baby. Slop that down, dude. Shit, yeah, dude. Crack one for the big boy.
Teraflops per second. And you just about have it locked in, and you are sending the command to the engine system. And the engine is revving up for a jump. You can see through your link with the computer, you can see it rendering the summoning grid. But it is at that moment that the whole ship lurches again. They have you.
Oh
no. Yikes. Bigum yikes.
Looks like Saber's gonna need that knife after all.
Yeah.
The kniffy.
And you are able to tell through your link with the ship's systems, Bob, that yes, there is an assault proboscis that is proceeding to attempt to drill through the roll of the dice's hull.
I'm sorry, a who?
and an assault proboscis.
Ew.
Ew.
I knew asking Mother for help was a mistake.
Rude.
All right.
And
I'm going
it
to
is-
go. I'm going to go to that section of the hull.
Yeah, and I was gonna say at this point, I'm gonna say that Saber, you were actually already there. This because this is more or less what you were preparing for. And yeah, you can see the section of bulkhead that is warping inward, and the edges of this portal that are slowly dissolving.
Okay. Is there anything that I can do to stop this really quickly?
I will say there's nothing you can do to actually stop the entrance, but you are already here and you can basically like ready an action for what you want to do once that door has been made.
I was gonna say,
Okay, cool. I'm just like, first of all, going like, and they are absolutely breaching right now.
helmets on?
Helmets on. And I'm preparing to, like, as soon as they breach, I'm just going to like pulse stab in.
What a lovely day!
Yeah.
Yay, Raider! No, I know Chickadee.
Thank you for the raid.
Yeah.
Thank you for the raid.
And also, it looks like we got a another donation. Again, thank you so much to everyone who is donating to our Extra Life campaign.
Thank you.
All right, so in that case, the portal opens. The section of bulkhead falls away as the border around it has been dissolved with a powerful acid. And from this steaming gateway emerge several figures in tattered and haggard exosuits. Their suits festooned with an assortment of scrimshaw charms, declaring their devotion to the ones that came before.
Do they look like they're preparing to attack?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they you can't see much through their grease stained their grease smeared face plates, but they got that cultist vibe to them.
That vibe.
They just got that vibe, right down to that like squiggly bone dagger.
Just a little feeling.
Yep. And you are able to, however, get an alpha strike before they are able to do anything.
Okay, so with my mystic weapon, I'm an expert. I have advantage on keep your cool. That's good to know. I was not aware of that. So alpha strike.
Yep.
Cool. Oh God, I didn't look at the dice. Not snake eyes, but
You rolled.
What do I add to this?
You rolled 3. Advantage is you roll 3, isn't it?
Oh,
and you take.
Do I get advantage with this one?
You know what? I will give you advantage because you have a combination of your mystic weapon and you were setting up specifically for this. So
cool. Let's hope for a 6 because I rolled a 1 and a 2 so far.
Yowza.
Rolled a 3.
The trend is toward improvement.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
That's up.
Yep. Up and away.
It is up.
Hetty is currently regretting going for the bargain crew option.
Okay, so yeah, the fail. What would I add to that?
Calculating.
Calculating. Cool. That's 0. Yeah. So with advantage, I take the top 2. Okay, so yeah, that's 5.
Cool. All right. Well, you go to launch into a surprise attack on them with your mystic weapon, but the leader of them, and you can see as it turns towards you, you can see through the grease smeared faceplate a gaunt and fully skeletal face, and the speaker on the front of his suit uh, emits this crackling, staticky sound as you realize that it is speaking, and its voice crawls across the surface of your mind. Uh, and your opportunity is wasted as you are
Yes.
sent reeling under the force of this psionic assault. So I'm gonna say you take 1 stress from this.
Okay.
And your surprise attack is wasted.
Yep.
So at this point, you would just be in a firefight with them.
Cool.
And at this point, I'm assuming that Imogene and Bob are converging on that position.
Yeah, I said already I went there.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, cool.
Definitely.
All right,
I
so
think I'm probably a few steps behind because I think in Bob being very dismissive of Mother's help, I kind of took a moment to be like, and then I followed after.
Mhm.
So I'm probably coming in behind Bob.
all right, cool. So I'm gonna have really quick. I'm gonna have Saber roll a firefight. We're gonna do that roll, and then everybody else is gonna come in. So this is gonna be rolling volatile.
Fingers crossed.
Sorry, is that me rolling?
No, that's gonna be Saber rolling.
Okay, just checking.
Yep.
It was like quiet, and I was like, I didn't think that was me. I'm not in this scene.
You're blissfully unaware of the horrors with which are entering your ship.
Blissful is a little
I can see also
optimistic.
like Hetty just on everyone's speakers like guys.
What's
Guys.
going on down
What's
there?
going on?
Guys.
What you doing?
So sorry, what did Saber get on volatile?
Oh, sorry.
you
I was
roll?
supposed to roll. Sorry.
Yeah,
I thought
sorry,
that
rolling volatile.
Sorry, I thought that Imogene was rolling.
Not yet.
So 6 and 3 plus which one?
Volatile.
Volatile. Okay, so 8.
Okay.
Good. Better.
All right, cool.
Better.
So 7 to 9, exchange harm and choose 1 from the firefight listing.
Okay, let me see. Firefight there. You impress, dismay, or frighten your enemy. If they are a PC, they also suffer 1 stress. I'm impressed, dismay, or frightening them.
Okay, cool. All right, so you do take 1 harm.
Okay.
But you are able to basically stop them from spreading out into the corridor around you. You are able to keep them contained with a display of martial prowess, if you want to describe how that looks.
Okay, so Saber's knife turns into a saber with like a glowing blue light, and as it swishes around, just I don't know anything really about sword fight, but you know, like just swishing around and trying to attack people. Just blur of blue.
All right, indeed, and you are able to slash across the lead cultist's exosuit, causing many of those profane charms to sort of scatter across the floor. And it is at this point then that Bob and Imogene arrive.
Glad you could make it.
And
Make
you
Hello.
see, yep, and you see currently Saber engaged in melee with 3 cultists that have come across this assault bridge.
Do you need some help?
It would be very much appreciated, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And so Bob will move to attack a cultist.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So Bob and Imogene, give me a volatile roll.
Oh no. I dropped it off the table. Just a second. Let me see. Volatile. Nope, that's a 6 for me. Boo. Bob is not very volatile.
It's only a 6 for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Just gonna look at something real quick. And then Imogene, what'd you get?
9 for my volatile.
Okay, cool. All right, so you on a 9. Yep, get to exchange harm and choose 1.
Okay. So I think I think I want to take evasive action and suffer 1 less harm. So I think what I do is I kind of come in, just like bop on through and get to the other side, kind of out of anyone's reach. As I come through this mess of, how many people did you say it was? Did you give us a
3.
number?
3 total. At
Okay.
least you can see right now.
Right. So I think that's what she does is she bops on in, bops past Bob. Just kind of
Just also, I will say, out of curiosity, would you say that this whole situation with would you say?
Hold on. There's something happening. Okay.
Alarms are going off across the ship.
It's like, oh no, what's happening?
So many klaxons. Would you say, Imogene, that this whole situation with the this derelict ship just floating through space, would you say that this might be a bit of a storm trigger?
I think possibly. I was going to ask if you felt the same way, because I think this probably would at least cause me to spend one of my storm, if nothing else.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
So I think what I would choose in this is when you lash out or act destructively, I think the choice I'm going to choose is that someone is injured or scarred. And so I think as Imogene goes past one of these cultists, the swipe she's going to take out of them is going to be particularly gruesome.
All right. And indeed, that one falls backward against the bulkhead. His suit completely torn open. And you would think that would actually make it easier for him to breathe, given that your ship has more atmosphere than theirs does. But he clutches at his lungs as just taking
just as fucking grip it, baby. Slop that down, dude. Shit, yeah, dude. Crack one for the big boy.
Breathing the same air as you. And then meanwhile, Bob, you are going in to attempt to help when again the lead cultist looks at you somewhat quizzically, and that same staticky sound emits from the speakers on his chest, but you perceive what it is that he is saying. You almost get this data dump in the language of the precursors that you are struggling to process.
Oh.
Go ahead and roll Assaulted by the Abyss.
Oh.
Let me see. Assaulted by the Abyss. Rolling alien, so that's an 8. Okay, so choose 2. So the Abyss stares into you. Ask me one question from the Abyss stares back. And I'll freeze up and have to keep my cool at disadvantage. So you get to pose one question to me.
Okay. I'm actually going to go ahead and ask, of all things in this universe, what is it that terrifies Bob to the core?
The thing that worries Bob the most is meeting the precursors again and being told he's been doing it wrong this whole time.
Oh no.
There was some error in his programming, and that all of the data that he's sent back has just frittered away into the void, and he's been wasting the past couple millennia.
Oh, he's worried he'll be a disappointment to his parents.
Oh,
I know.
no. Oh
Very
boy.
cool. So, Saber, at this point,
Yes.
so you have taken some stress and some harm. You have some
Mhm.
allies in this fight now. You could choose to press your assault, or you could try and withdraw and recover.
I'm going to withdraw and recover.
Okay, cool. So go ahead and you can disengage, and you can roll recover,
Okay.
which is plus stalwart.
Yep. I have a 0 in that. I got a 9.
All right,
5 and a
so
4.
5 and a 4. All right, so you take a little too long. Choose 2, but your enemy gets a chance to get into a better position or prepare themselves. So choose 2 from the recover table there.
Okay, let me find it. Recover. Okay, so I'm going to shrug it off and heal my my just a scratch, because I assume that that's the harm that I took.
Yeah, but you get to choose which of those options you
Oh,
mark
okay.
off. Which,
Well,
I mean,
I mean,
it makes sense to mark just a scratch, yeah.
yeah, I assumed that I wouldn't be like, I'm hurt bad
Yeah.
from 1. So I'll do that, and then I will ready to swipe at someone who attacks me.
Cool. All right, readying a move, weapon or piece of
Yep.
So for that would be ready a move that has been discharged. Have you discharged any moves so far?
Oh, I mean, I used suggestion before, but mystic moves using my mystic weapon. Does that
Trying to see
count?
I mean, what I'm just trying to see, because that is I guess, yeah. So yeah, suggestion was discharged earlier, so you can undischarge suggestion, so you have the ability to use that again if you want to.
Okay, so I'll do that then.
All right, cool.
Okay, and then I
you
was
shrug off
just
the scratch.
sorry, I was just resolving my keep your cool, so I got a 7 on that, and I'll just take 1 stress rather than disadvantage moving forward.
Cool.
Has anyone, mentioned to Hetty how things are going down there?
No. I think Imogene probably left her in her chaos of coming down and seeing this and having her storm triggered. I think she forgot to turn off the communication. So you are hearing, all you hear is whatever is filtering through my my microphone, but like no one has said anything explicitly to you, and we haven't really discussed amongst ourselves what happened, so you just probably hear combat noise.
Well, I mean, I did say earlier, hey guys, better come down here. So
yeah, but like
So-
she doesn't know how many people are on the ship. She doesn't know that this one guy's
True.
like
Right,
can't
which-
breathe oxygen anymore. Like, well, that's fucked up.
Though, so
Mhm.
Hetty, what you could do at this point is you do know that the enemy ship has latched onto you, and you could attempt to shake them off. Admittedly,
I think that sounds like a good plan for Hetty.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna have you go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and actually have you roll act quick.
Okay.
Rolling slick.
Not my greatest roll, but the good news is that's my high stat, so it still comes out to a 7.
Okay, so
Oh.
you do it, but choose one.
Okay. I'll suffer a stress.
Okay.
It's valid.
One could describe this as a stressful situation.
Just a little. I'm hearing sounds of combat. The tendril things are there's an assault proboscis. I don't want that to get lost in everything that's happening down in the cargo hold. That phrase is still terrifying to me. So assault proboscis. Yes. That in particular is just not sitting well with Hetty. And she is very much doing this more in like there's zero planning to this. She really is just jerking the ship around trying to do something about that.
Yeah, you hear the struts of the superstructure groaning even more as you literally just spin the roll of the dice, tumbling over and over and over, and finally you succeed actually in smashing the other ship against an asteroid, and even down
Excellent.
in the cargo hold. You all are thrown. You and the cultists all are thrown onto your backs from the impact. But you can see on the other side of the bridge that the cultists used to cross that a hole has been torn open. The roll of the dice's shields have immediately sealed the gap. So the air is not rushing out, but you can see the inky black void of space on the other end of that corridor. And at this point, I'm going to say, Bob, it's on you. What do you want to do?
So that's interesting. I am going to communicate with the computer, which I guess could be act quick.
What is it that you want to try and accomplish?
So I'm pulling together a couple things here. First and foremost of which is when I do something that is incomprehensible to my colleagues, I do so at advantage. And the incomprehensible thing I want to do is deactivate the shields.
What?
What?
Has
I
Bob
like it.
forgotten that the rest of us need the oxygen again?
Well, technically,
I heard
Saber and I
helmets
put
on
on
call.
helmets. Yeah.
One was called.
And I'm not anywhere near the cargo hold, so this may work.
Exactly.
We'll see. We'll see how this goes. So yeah, I would say, go ahead and act quick about it.
All right. This goes quite poorly.
Oh no.
Oh wait, I have advantage. What am I doing?
Yeah, advantage.
Still terrible.
I love it. How terrible. How terrible.
Not a catastrophic failure, but not great.
Okay.
So the shield turns off and
And
Space Lord.
Oh, so you get
You have to tell me what terrible thing happens to me now.
So sorry. So what was the total of your roll?
So it was a 3. It was wretched.
Oh
I
my
see.
god.
Oh, I see.
That's like big bad.
Oh.
Did
I
you roll
see.
snake eyes just straight across the board?
I rolled snake eyes, and then at advantage I rolled 2 and to replace my 1. So it was not
yes.
good. No,
Yes.
it was quite bad. I am apparently quite rattled by this interaction with the cultist talking to me in the language of my programmers, and
You know what?
it
Fair.
it has caused me to make a small error in judgment. You all might wish to hold on to something.
So
What?
yes, the shields go down, and there is a moment where you're all sort of you feel yourself becoming slightly lighter before the cargo hold proceeds to get vacuumed out into space. The upshot is that all 3 of the cultists have been fully ejected into the void. They're not coming back.
Yeah.
Downside is that all 3 of you that are in the cargo hold are in danger of also being sucked out into space. Could all 3 of you please give me a keep your cool?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Oh, those are some faces.
7.
6.
3.
Okay, so first the 7. So you choose one.
What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I think I will take the stress.
Okay.
It's a popular choice.
Yeah,
It's-
Imogen, you were able to hold on, but you are taking a stress as a stressful situation. You could describe it like that.
I think, in my ear I hear softly Mother's like, "This is how we lost Adam."
Oh.
It's just like,
and at this point, so both Bob and Saber are sucked through the remains of the cultists' boarding bridge. Saber, you are able to use your knife to cut into the metal and create an anchor. And you are able to, with your other hand, catch Bob as he is flying by and the air is rushing by both of you.
This is not ideal.
The cultists are out of the ship.
So are we.
We can go back.
uh,
The air will stop leaving in a moment.
I think Hetty is like
on.
still hearing things trickle through, and it's like, "What do you mean you're not on the ship? What are you doing down there?"
hey, can you
Oh,
put
sorry.
the shields back on?
Sorry, Hetty. I turned off the shields to get the cultists out, but I may have inadvertently.
Cultists? There's cultists.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No. Do try to keep up. Please shut down. Please shut down atmosphere in corridors 5, 6, and 7. Pretty please?
Hetty's gonna do that.
Where did you even learn that?
I thought it would work. Oh well.
So I'm gonna say that so at this point, Hetty, you were able to get the shields back online. Bob and Saber are able to climb back into the ship, though both of you did also take an additional stress in the process.
Cool.
That's legit.
I'm climbing on up there towards a calamity.
And it is at this point then that Hetty, you get a little ping on your monitor that there's been an
Goody.
update. There's been an update to the race standings.
Uh-huh.
At this point, Lord Leviathan still in the lead.
Of course.
Weedlord Boner Killer has fallen down to 3rd place. And that is because the Dukes of El-Hazred have managed to overtake the lead you gained on them by using the jump and have just passed the 2nd checkpoint, leaping into 2nd place.
Okay.
So you are still in 4th place, but it looks like some of the ships that you left behind, including the Uzumaki, the Black Goat looks like it had to drop out of the race. But the Uzumaki, Screamin' Mad Georgia ship is coming up on you pretty rapidly. He's going to probably be at your position and overtake you momentarily. And then also the Jiayo and the 404 translator error are bringing up 6th and 7th place respectively.
All right. Well, if we're done with whatever was happening there, we need to get moving if we're going to have any chance of finishing this race.
I agree. Shields up, shields up.
You're back on the ship? We're good?
Yes, we're back on the ship.
All right. Re-engaging shields, and gonna hope that holds the hole in our ship long enough to finish this race.
Yeah, cool. So
can I work on repairing some of that?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go ahead and what are these rules for spot repairs?
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. So yeah, if there's no immediate pressures, let's see. You are able to apply spot repairs to 1 damage options. Roll. Okay. I will say your time is limited, so I'm gonna say roll keep your cool to complete the repairs.
Okay.
And while they're doing that, Hetty, if you want to go ahead and just give me a flat 2d6 roll at a -1.
So that's a 7 on keep your cool.
Okay.
And that's going to be an 8 on my roll.
Okay. So keep your cool. So I'd say it's up to you. You can choose one from that. You were successful in completing the spot repairs, but you have to choose one from keep your cool.
I'll give up something.
Okay. Give something up. All right. I'm going to say you have had to reroute power in order to get the shields back to a point where they are going to stand up to the extreme speeds you're going to have to be moving at, while still also maintaining atmospheric integrity for the ship. You have to choose one of your other modules, either the turrets or the sensors, and you're going to have to take those offline.
I vote turrets.
Fine. I suppose being able to see the things to avoid them will work better than having guns to shoot them out of our way without knowing they're coming.
Yeah, unfortunately it is more important to be able to see them.
Okay. All right, so turrets are going to be offline. So I will say in a type situation, you could still conceivably use them, but there will be a penalty to the roll to using them.
Okay.
As they're going to be operating on minimal power and probably won't have access to their full range of like targeting computers. You'll have to be going by sight alone.
Probably.
right. And you rolled an 8 with that. As you careen through the remains of this debris field, passing out of the area you had cleared previously and just executing a series of just reckless dodges around the graveyard of starships surrounding you. And you successfully clear the second checkpoint. But at this point, you have not gained significant ground on any of the ships in the first 3 positions. And at this point, several ships are coming up behind you. There is a pack forming behind you. Uzumaki is once again neck and neck with you. And you can see on your sensors that you still have the Jiayo, the 404 translator error, and it looks like a couple of stragglers from the back of the pack are also catching up in 8th and 9th place, respectively. In a tight pack, there is also the Dunwich Trawler, the Invisible Insanity, and the Terrifying Baby.
I'm sorry, what was that last one?
The Terrifying Baby.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I had heard that correctly.
All right.
Are there children on board?
Are there children?
Giant stickers that say "Warning, baby" on board.
Imogene's just like, you shouldn't bring those in here. You shouldn't bring those in here.
And so you are through the second checkpoint. So there is one last checkpoint you have to complete before making the final sprint back to Roulette. And that is the flyover of Earth. You need to make one complete orbit around the Earth, specifically flying over Ultima Nemo, the location of the risen city of Rilia. Now, so there's a matter of getting from Saturn to Earth, and once again, similar to the sprint from Pluto to Saturn, you could get there using your non-jump engines, as you're flying pretty close to the speed of light. But you could cut that down using your jump engines. And you're willing to bet that at least a couple of the ships that are coming up behind you are probably potentially willing to make that gamble.
Yeah, it sort of seems like if we're gonna try and do this, playing it safe will not get us what we need to.
I mean, it's like a light hour and a quarter.
And now we really need that money for some repairs. So
yes.
I was like, we left safe back on Roulette, so just punch it.
Punch it.
Punch it.
Punch it, punch it.
Okay. Go ahead. So with the spot repairs you're going to make, you're not going to take an additional penalty for this jump. So just be alien -1.
Alien -1. All right.
Can we still do the lean on?
Yeah, go ahead. If you want to try and help out, describe how you're going to assist Bob and roll Stalwart.
Give Mother another chance to prove her value.
Yeah, I think especially after Mother chiming in on the fate of one of my my parents' previous crew and everything, Imogene just kind of like unasked sidles up beside Bob on the console and just kind of like leans in to give Mother's unsolicited advice. For a 10.
Yeah.
Hey.
Mother is redeeming herself.
All right, cool. Yeah, Mother points out to Bob that you might want to remember to carry that 3 this time.
Thanks for that. Like I carry all of you.
Bobbert.
Okay, that's a 10 for me. Thank you.
All right. All right. So you use your jump drive and you succeed.
Sorry, was it alien -1 or 2?
Alien -1, only 1 for this roll. Well, then plus whatever you would get from, I think it's what is it for lean on me? You
Advantage.
Choose advantage going
Should
forward.
just negate it, right?
So it doesn't negate it, but you do get advantage, so you can roll another one and see if it's higher.
Oh, okay. Same thing.
Okay, cool. So 10. It's double checking Marauder move. Yes. So roll 10. You made it out, and you choose one from the fold space drive table.
Oh yes, the fold space drive table.
Just a good old table.
That old chestnut.
Yep.
Right. Oh, let's see. The ship has been invaded, infested, or infected by something.
Yes.
Correct, we were there.
Maybe you didn't get all the cultists.
Both cultists went out into space. Thank you very much.
All two of them. We saw it.
Yep. Well, no, actually, that sounds like a good point. At this point, given all of the action that has been going around helping out in the cargo bay and the engine room, is around this time that Hetty, as you are coming out of the jump and you are coming back into linear awareness, that you realize that you are not alone on the bridge. You see reflected in the glass of the view screen the haggard form of the lead cultist holding a bone knife.
Cool.
I would like to grab the pistol that I keep on my hip at all times and shoot the cultist.
Cool. Roll volatile for firefight.
Knocking off my gear slot. That is going to be a 12.
Ooh.
Timely.
All right. Exchange harm and choose 3.
Sweet. So my pistol, first off, it only does like 1 harm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not exactly, Okay. I'm going to say I actually discharge my weapon, so it deals double harm.
Okay.
I'm going to take evasive action, so I suffer 1 less harm in this exchange. And then for my third thing, I am going to impress, dismay, or frighten my enemy.
All right. Cool.
I don't know what frightens a cultist, but
well, so how much harm is your double harm?
So double, it's still only 2.
Okay, cool. Well, sure. Just do you want to describe how this showdown ensues?
So as mentioned, I think so you've mentioned like I could see the reflection, so they assumed they were going to get the drop on me, and instead what happened is I whirl around while grabbing my pistol in one fluid motion, almost as if I'm very used to being attacked from behind. And just fire.
Why would anyone ever want to do that to Hetty?
Why?
Oh, no
She's
one would ever do that.
And I think it's just gonna be a point blank shot, like center of mass, while also like rolling out of her chair to try and avoid their knife attack. So sort of, I guess instead of rolling, just sort of like throwing herself out of the chair as she hits the floor and hits the center of mass with the pistol.
Okay. You do so, and the lead cultist moving in to strike, but as he does so, you shoot him point blank, and his face is still frozen in this rictus of ecstatic glee gradually turning to surprise, and he just slumps dead over the console.
Ay.
Good
I think
shit.
Hetty's
So
gonna hit her like communicator, be like, "You guys missed one."
Oh, sorry about that.
Bob somehow doesn't know how to count.
Did you take care of it though? Like,
Yes, it's been dealt with, although I could maybe use a hand to deal with the aftermath.
Coming.
as Bob leaves to go deal with that, Imogene just says to Saber, "Can't move her own dead bodies."
Pathetic.
Wow.
Hey, the comm was off for
Wow.
that. I didn't have my hand up. You did not hear anything.
I mean, did Imogen remember to finally turn off the channel? Because we earlier said it was just an open channel.
I think at this point, after Imogene made an active comment back up, that's when she would have turned it off. She did not realize up until that point it had been on, and she doesn't even think about it. It's like she makes her next comment and flicks it off. So your Craigslist cruise opinions remain their own.
Right, you at this point can see you are.
I appreciate that the captioner put that as Craigslist cruise, like on a ship. I kind of want to go on a Craigslist cruise now. That sounds like a once in a lifetime experience.
Do you?
Sounds like a one-time lifetime experience, and then that's the end.
In that respect, I just do suppose it does count as a once in a lifetime experience.
That's the joke.
You?
It'll be an excellent lifetime original movie in like 3 years.
Jokes are always better when you explain them. That's the rule on
exactly.
Bob thinks this. Yes.
Mm-hmm. You were able to lug the cultist's corpse off of the console, and wiping the blood off the screen. You can see that at this point you have leaped solidly into third place.
Yay!
As you are approaching Earth and descending towards its gravity well, you can see you're settling into a coast through the upper orbit of Earth. A bright spot a little bit below you. Zeroing in on it with your sensors, it appears to be the reason why you have catapulted into third place.
Uh-oh.
The Weed Lord Boner Killer is currently rapidly descending through Earth's atmosphere, wreathed in flame.
Ooh.
Oh.
Couldn't be us.
Do we see what caused that to happen?
Not currently.
Just do one of those like salutes, but it's like it's
Peace.
wrong-handed, all the whole thing, like just
Glad we're not you. Bye.
R.I.P. bastards.
And they continue their descent into the atmosphere and an unknown fate on the surface below. And you continue to cruise across the stratosphere of humanity's ancient home. You cannot help but look somewhat wistfully at its gray choked atmosphere, thinking of your great-grandparents' stories of the storms of atomic ash, the green oceans, beautiful with continent-spanning algae blooms. It's honestly more than a little bit nostalgic.
Hmm.
And you at last come to the point that most of you have been dreading, but which you know is, in many respects, the centerpiece of the Rillia Rally. The flyover of Ultima Nemo. There is also something you can do here. You know that there are people back on Roulette who will pay handsomely for satellite photos of Earth, and in particular, satellite photos of the risen city. But you also know that the things that dwell below don't particularly like having their picture taken. You could definitely sell those for a good deal of money.
We're still in third, so there is a very solid chance we're not going to get first place, and therefore this may be the best chance we have at this point of getting the money we need to repair the ship after everything that just happened. And we've already dealt with cultists once today. What's a little more supernatural nonsense?
Is this coming through the communicators for everyone, or is
Yes.
this her internal dialogue?
Nonsense.
Imogene clicks on her comms and she replies back. She's like, "Oh, I don't care. I didn't come in here to come out, so whatever."
I'm starting to understand why you got kicked off other ships, Imogen.
She's just staring down at Earth with like complete rapt attention, as in the other ear, Mother is just talking about, this is what we came in for the first time. This is what your parents wanted to see. We didn't get this far last time.
So Saber is perfectly happy with that, but they say maybe wait until we're a little bit further along, because then we won't take the pictures and then they have time as we fly over. I know it's a slight difference, but the slight difference might help in us escaping.
And I suppose maybe just be ready to punch it again.
Yes.
All right.
What's Bob's opinion?
Sure, that makes sense.
So it sounds like we have a plan.
Yeah.
All right, so you're gonna try to snap some postcards for the people back home?
Yeah.
But as we've started to pass already, so that it's a little bit easier to escape.
Okay.
I like how every time you give us a choice, we're like, the risky one. That's the one we want to do.
That's the one we want to do. Yep.
We would not be true to this rally if we did anything safe.
We should have called the ship the Lean In.
Well, so if anyone wants to go ahead and somebody wants to roll scope it out, you can use your ship sensors for advantage for the photos.
Shit.
Did someone else want to do that, or should Hetty?
What was the
Scope
stat for it?
Calculating.
Scope it up. Calculating.
Which is not a great stat for this crew.
It's really not.
I can roll it. If Bob is on standby to punch it, I can roll it with the sensors.
Imogen did come all this way to see what her parents missed.
I did. I'm here to see. I'm here to see this. Where are the ship sensors? So the sensor array. have advantage on scope it out, so I'll just roll the 3.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, no, I rolled double sixes,
okay.
so I rolled 12.
Oh,
but
awesome.
just to see, but the advantage roll was a 1, so
okay,
so 12 because it's flat.
Yay!
Yay!
Take some pictures of fulfilling my familial loop.
Yep.
All right. Well, so you definitely get some excellent pictures using the ship's sensors, and I think maybe even helped by the fact that Mother is using some of your parents' research data to point you at particular areas of interest. I'll even say, if you would like, you can ask questions from the scope it out table if you would like.
Oh, okay. 10 plus 3. Where is my best escape route?
Yes.
What is my enemy's true position? And who or what here is not what they seem?
Ooh.
Okay. Your best escape route, using the images you have gained from the your sensor suite of the planet and enhancing them with your parents' research data, you're able to look and you're able to triangulate what looks to be a optimal jump point not very far from Earth. The route you were going to take, that most of the racers take, is a bit further away from Earth, because that's what the numbers have always pointed to. But since the jump engines work off of occult physics, you are able to look at the ley line trajectories as they currently exist on Earth and map out another juncture that you could exploit that is much, much closer. Definitely would save you a lot of time.
Nice.
And you would also be able to reach pretty quickly from your current position about to complete the orbit, which might be a good idea. As what was the second question?
What's my enemy's true position?
Your enemy's true position would, at this exact moment, be right behind you.
Nice.
And as far as who here is not what they seem, there is something, looking down at the surface, you can see that there are vast diagrams that have been written upon the surface of the earth itself. And there are megaglyphs that are scrawled across the expanse of the North American wastes that you are absolutely certain that you have seen before. And that is because not the same message, but that same language, those same glyphs are written across the metal surface of Bob.
Oh, shoot.
So Imogene's like staring down, and she like looks up slowly right at Bob. And she's just like, are you feeling at home?
Everything has to be somewhere. I'm here.
And just bringing us back to that second question that I answered for you. Everyone go ahead and roll Assaulted by the Abyss.
Oh no!
Cool. That's all widespread there.
8. Alien's my good stat.
9.
11.
It is also my good stat.
That is going to be a 6.
Oh!
Okay, so we're going to go actually in order. Okay, so first, Imogene, what'd you get?
8.
8. Okay, cool. So going to choose 2 from Assaulted by the Abyss.
I think it stares into me, and I am scarred by the experience, either figuratively or literally.
Okay, cool. All right, very good. What's the second one you're gonna pick?
The abyss stares into you.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I ask you one question from that. And I'm gonna say, what faint hope does Imogene cling to?
I think there is a faint hope in this trip through Lost Soul, where Imogene was hoping that she would get to hear the voice of someone other than Mother from the first trip, that she would get to hear one of the voices of her father or one of the other crew members who died while still in Lost Soul, because her actual mother didn't die until after they got out of Lost Soul, but one of the others who died here.
All right. Saber, what'd you roll?
I rolled a 9.
Okay, you also choose 2.
I'm choosing the exact same ones as Imogene.
Okay, cool. All right, scarred figuratively or literally, and I'm gonna say, at this point, what terrifies Saber the most?
Meeting whatever's staring at them.
Fair enough. And Bomb, what'd you get?
Not that they'd ever say it.
Bob rolled an 11.
Okay.
Made of eldritch energy, he's not quite as.
Yeah. So that would be Temple Seer exposure is limited. You choose only 1.
Yeah. So I'll be scarred, figuratively or literally.
Right. Cool. Everyone's feeling pretty scarred.
Yeah.
Since we're not gonna do hooks, I'm gonna say choose either a stress or a harm to mark for everybody who chose that. And then there is Hetty.
I'd go with harm.
So you are temporarily frozen in terror. You've never felt like this before. This sense of this thing behind you that you can't even look at, but you know instinctively that it is there. You can almost, even though it's behind the ship, you can almost feel it breathing down your neck. You can try to pilot your way out of this, but I am going to need you to keep your cool.
Okay.
You're also super taking 2 stress.
In a lovely surprise, I rolled a 7 to keep my cool.
Yay!
Yay!
You did it!
I did it!
Scraped on by.
Okay, so choose 1.
I'm gonna say that I give up something, leave something behind, or take something with me.
Okay.
Ooh. Spooky.
All right, cool. We're gonna put a little pin in that.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It'll be fun.
It'll be
great.
We're just gonna put a little pin in that. All right.
I'm like, there's a shortcut over there. Let's not worry about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you are able to follow Imogene's instructions to pilot yourself away, and you think the distance between you and that presence widening. You think you feel that presence receding, and you
I like the phrasing "you think."
I know.
You make a beeline for this point in space that Imogene has pointed out to you. And go ahead and engage your jump drives to get back to Lost Soul. You can roll Alien. And actually, since for using this information that you gleaned, you are actually able to get a +1 on this roll.
Nice.
Or actually, I'm going to just do it at advantage rather than adding an extra 1 on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so that's a 9 flat at advantage. Ooh, yeah, that's a 6. All right. So that's an 11, 12, 13. That's a 14.
Oh, all right.
Oh, damn.
I'm gonna call that your
Okay.
your smoothest jump. At this point, I won't even make you choose one from the fold space drive. If you just want to describe how this last desperate jump back to roulette space looks.
Sure. So as the ship pivots away from Earth, it's about the size of like I don't know, golf ball or something in the rearview mirror, if you will. And you see the same kind of deep space maneuver take place where you start to see a silver filigree outline form around the edges of the roll of the dice, and it begins to turn into a tesseract where it sort of shrinks in on itself. The walls kind of fold in around another cube. Um, you do get in the kind of purple after image, looking sort of through the ship as it dematerializes from real space, a glimpse of the thing that was behind it, and that's where normally you get a sort of chill from the observation of matter leaving the universe. In this case, you get kind of a double whammy where it's anybody looking at this would feel cold basically in their bones for days, like they've been camping with no tent or something. Just it's going to take a while to shake that one off. And
A
the ship
chill right down to the
dematerializes.
atomic structure.
Yeah.
And you guys emerge back into roulette space, and you can see distantly the twinkling of roulette station and the finish line. And immediately ahead of you, within sight line, you can see the two other ships that are ahead of you in the standing, Lord Leviathan and the Dukes of Alhazred. At the moment, Dukes of Alhazred is in second place, but you're pretty confident that you're about to be in second. That reason being that at this exact moment, the Lord Leviathan has a pair of betaloned grappler arms that it is using to tear the Dukes of Alhazred in two.
Oh, shit.
Do you still win money if you win second?
The Lord
Depends on
Leviathan
the
is
bet that
the
you
Lord Leviathan is
placed.
hailing you.
Okay, I'm curious to see what the hell this is about.
Henrietta, what a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting to see you again this race.
Well, always happy to show up where I'm not wanted. What can I say?
I just wanted to extend an invitation as a friend, as a business associate, that we end this in a gentlemanly manner.
Do you even know how to behave in a gentlemanly manner?
I think that entirely depends on what your answer is.
I would have to know what it is you're asking us to do.
I think you know. And he ends the transmission. And yeah, Lord Leviathan is currently rocketing away towards the finish line in first position. And you are currently in second. suppose the question is, do you want to coast the finish line in second place, or do you want to defy? Okay, you're trying to defy Lord Leviathan, and
Of course.
All right, okay, cool.
Hell yeah!
Who are you asking?
I just wanted to present, put all the options on the table.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Have you noticed what our answers to your options have been so far?
I don't like to assume.
I feel like Hetty's thing is actual, because I'm assuming there's no rules. Like the fact that he was ripping a ship apart is totally allowed. Like causing damage to your competitors is totally allowed.
Or at the very least, even if it isn't allowed, Lord Leviathan is capable of getting away with it.
I'm just wondering if I bring the turrets back online and we just full on shoot Lord Leviathan to try and pull into first, if that's going to get us in trouble with the authorities.
So
I know it'll get us in trouble with Lord Leviathan, but we've already established
it is ostensibly against the rules. So it's ostensibly against the rules to actively use weapons. Now, what Lord Leviathan did was obviously illegal, but you would guess that he is probably going to try and play it off as some sort of a collision accident and use his influence to smooth over any discrepancies in that story. Now, that said, you could still just shoot him. That is an option. I'm just saying that you would probably need to figure out how you'd want to spin that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Our turrets malfunctioned.
You know how things get on the rally.
I was gonna say, there's that, or I have a question. What is the distance? Because I haven't used it, and I feel like for the sake of the one shot, I should. How close do I have to be to someone to use my telekinetic forces?
You mean unleash that storm?
Yeah, like if I just get up in there and hurl him against the side of his own ship from the inside, like
All right. Well,
inside the little ping pong ball.
Tell you what, Hetty piloting the ship here. Give me a quick flat d6 roll.
Just 1d6?
1d6. Or 2d6, sorry. 2d6.
I was like, oh, this is interesting. What are we doing here? Okay. That is going to be a 9 on...
Okay. You punch it, and the roll of the dice tumbles through space, rapidly closing the gap with Lord Leviathan. And as you were getting closer, Imogene, you can sense the matter of Lord Leviathan's ship. You can sense it. You can feel the contours of your brain closing around it.
I want to try to dislodge his supercomputer brain connector.
Okay.
By shaking him around in there.
All right, go for it.
All right.
I'm very happy that all of you dislike what's his face as much as I do.
With a 5 and a 6, that's an 11.
Yay!
All right, your intent is strong. Choose one.
Oh.
I think I'm going to choose, for the logistics of what's happening, it's pulled towards me. So I think what it is I latch onto the plug, the theoretical plug, and I pull that towards me as if like towards us. So as we get closer, it pulls back and just right out of his little head.
All right.
You can't prove that.
Well, yep, and you sense that happening, and Lord Leviathan is flying towards the finish line. But there is a crucial turn that he needs to make in order to stay on target for the finish line, and he doesn't make it. The Lord Leviathan is just sort of shooting off into space.
Yes!
Just flying blind into the depths of space.
And here's the thing. Imogene does not say anything about what she just did, and I think the only person who can know that anything happened would be Bob. So the question is if Bob says anything about what I just did. probably still standing next to Bob from where I was, where I gave Mother the unsolicited advice. I do that weird little head tilt, pick my head back up. All that happens.
Bob sort of, in so much as you can tell, sort of looks your way, and like the crystals around his head kind of glint a bit, and you think he might be winking at you.
This is a secret we're taking to our grave. We're taking to my grave. I assume Bob can't die.
And you are in first position, and there is a rapid update as they're able to see from roulette that the standings have changed, and the roll of the dice rolls its way directly across the finish line, winning Guerrilla Rally.
Yay!
We did
There are fireworks that are shot off from the surrounding ships, banner ads going up over all of the feeds. Everyone is going wild at the upset that this represents. And you are cruising in towards roulette, toward all thinking about the tremendous amount of money that you have just won. I would say,
heck yeah.
I would say none of you more so than Hetty, except that Hetty, you cannot help but be oddly distracted by this perpetual sense of something standing behind you. And that, my friends, is where we are going to end. Thank you guys so much for playing. Thank you guys, everyone out here in the audience. Thank you so much for watching us today. I know we ran a little long. I'm so sorry about that. We're going to get the next stream up as soon as we are able. Do not go away. We have What We Do in the Masquerade coming up next. A bunch of vampire roommates taking on gentrification. And if you don't think that sounds fun, I don't want to talk to you at parties. Thank you. Thank you again so much also to everyone who has been donating to our Extra Life drive. Today we are up to $125. That is so amazing. Thank you guys so much. We are going to be going away here in just a second to make the change over to the next game. But do not go away. Again, if you were just recently joining us, we are going to be streaming for 12 straight hours here on Live from the Apocalypse. 3 back-to-back games. You don't want to miss it.
Yay.
Yay!
Good day.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. We survived.
Maybe.